This first dashcam video was captured in Australia. Two men in a Mercedes are driving down the highway when, through their dashcam, a car is seen quickly approaching. It then swerves around the two guys before getting in front of them and slamming on the brakes, clearly trying to run them off the road. What first could be written off as road rage soon takes a more serious and disturbing turn. The two men notice the driver has an axe and is now waving it out his window and threatening them. The sudden and unexpected encounter forces the two men to take a quick U-turn to lose the guy, but he continues to follow them. The situation escalates further when the two use the next exit and approach a roundabout.
Whoa! Keep driving, holy! Man, cool cops. Yeah. No. Yeah. Oh, keep going. Just keep. Oh my God!
Twice the Mercedes is rear-ended, the second of which causes the attacker to spin out, sending him off the road. This allowed the two guys to get away. They would then drive to the nearest police station to report what had just happened. When police arrived at the scene of the crash, the car was gone. However, a few hours later, they would find the vehicle on the road, and from there, the driver was arrested. Later, the owner of the dashcam footage would give the video more context. Apparently, the driver chasing them was convinced they had robbed his house the night before, but this wasn't the case. The two guys had never before even seen the man. It was determined that he was under the influence of something. He would be charged with multiple offenses, which put him in prison for 2 years. This dashcam footage shows the armed robbery of a cab driver. The driver, Ralph Roletta, had just started his shift. This was his first ride of the day. He was stopped at a light, and the rider in the back slouched down but abruptly sat up and demanded Ralph give him everything he had.
Robert, man.
Right, hey.
Give me all your money, man.
Man, I don't.
Give me everything you got. Give me it now.
All right.
I need it now.
All right.
We can make this the easy way, or we can make this the hard way, man.
Everything I got, man.
Keep your hand where I can see him.
I just started.
What else you got?
I just
Let me see your wallet. Let me see your.
I don't have anything in my wallet.
We can do this the hard way, or we can do this the easy way, man. Let me see your wallet and let me see your phone. I need it all right now. If you don't want to die, man.
Okay.
Give it all to me now.
Okay.
Unbeknownst to the rider, a police cruiser was stopped at the same light directly behind them. At some point during the robbery, the light to the lane they were in had turned green, and seeing they weren't moving, the officer put on his light and got out to investigate.
I don't have anything in my wallet. I don't
Give
carry
me your wallet and your phone. I need your wallet.
No, please don't give me your phone. I need that for my. There's a cop behind us. There's a cop behind us. Get out. Oh my God!
The officer realized a robbery was taking place and ordered the rider out of the car, where he was then detained. The rider was arrested and later charged with multiple offenses. In late November of 2015, a large catastrophic bushfire broke out in South Australia. This dashcam footage was captured by one of the fire trucks responding to the incident. It gets so bad that the fire trucks gets forced to stop. Then in the distance, the fire itself can be seen, spreading towards them unnervingly fast. Enormous smoke clouds are shown, depicting just how large the fire had gotten. As the trucks continue forward, visibility gradually worsens, and the fire itself can be seen spreading towards them unnervingly fast.
Here it comes.
A miscommunication between the two trucks resulted in a collision. The truck in the front was attempting to back up out of the fire, while the truck with the dashcam was entering a so-called burnover. A burnover is a fire truck protection protocol where the truck stays in place and the crew deploys cover themselves with blankets to protect themselves from the heat. Water is spread out outside the vehicle to keep it away from catching fire, and inside, breathing masks are used by the crew. During this protocol, however, the crew from the truck in the front can be heard desperately explaining how they didn't have water for a burnover, or rather the truck's sprinkler system wasn't working properly. They couldn't stay in place and was forced to drive forward in hopes to escaping the fire, which you can actually see in the video as the truck fades into the distance. Fortunately, this move made both trucks made it out with minimal injuries. The dashcam footage from a truck caught the exact moment an ambush took place. The video clearly shows as multiple people alongside the highway use an improvised roadblock made of tree branches to force drivers to stop. The people responsible were multiple illegal immigrants angered by a recent demolition of a makeshift camp they had set up as soon as the truck stopped. They would climb the guardrail and throw multiple sticks, rocks, and even lumps of concrete at the driver. Luckily, the driver would make it past the roadblock, though he would claim that in the moment he feared for his life. And unfortunately, he would receive multiple wounds from items thrown through the windshield that would ultimately require him to seek medical attention. This footage takes place at 1:30 a.m. on a Sunday, and it features dashcam footage of a car traveling along a quiet stretch of road in the country. As the car approaches an intersection, a hooded man can be seen standing with his head bowed in the middle of the road. As the car gets closer, the man can be seen attempting to walk in front of it, forcing the driver to stop, and that's when the man can be heard screaming as he lunges towards the car, which of course would force the driver to step on the gas and get out of there. The driver claims that after the encounter, he would frantically try to call and warn his wife, who was traveling on the same road about a minute behind him. Unfortunately, he wasn't quick enough, which would cause his wife to experience the exact same encounter. To this day, the couple claims they were unsure of whether the man was trying to rob them, take their cars, or hurt them in some way or another. This next footage takes place on a dark and isolated road. It starts out with nothing out of the ordinary, when just as the car rounds a bend, an out-of-place figure wearing a suit with a briefcase and an umbrella comes into frame, and directly after another identical man can be seen. The men would retreat into the long grass, where suddenly it's clear there are multiple men looking identical to each other. They seem to have been startled by the vehicle, as if they had been caught. When suddenly further down the road, yet another figure can be seen, this one holding a flare. It's still unclear what happened next, or what the driver truly witnessed that night, though many believe the driver had drove right in the middle of a cold, taking part in a ritual of some sort. In this video, you can see the dashcam footage of a parked vehicle in the middle of an October day in 2014. From the audio, it's clear someone is inside the car, as you can hear the window roll down, followed by the driver saying how creepy something is. And that's when you realize what the driver is talking about, as you can see a man wearing a disturbing-looking mask walk around the vehicle. According to the driver, there were 5 others with the same mask on, not visible from the dashcam. Though even still, it's clear the driver thinks it's a joke, as you can hear her laughing, but that's when the masked men break one of the car's windows and proceed to rob the driver of all her valuables. The whole while, horrifying screams from the driver can be heard.
Consumers are facing during the decline in the U.S. economy. The Internal Revenue Service may
Those are so creepy. Where'd you get it?
This may result in back taxes being reduced by thousands of dollars. An open phone line.
Where did you get them? Come here. Where did you get it?
Ensure your financial stability during this
How
decline.
much did you get in the car?
Take down this number now. 800-639-9690. That's 800-639-9690. If you owe back taxes to the IRS, there's no need to pay anymore. The IRS will help you accepting reduced settlements.
This footage was taken in the middle of the night in a desolate field located in Saudi Arabia. Almost right away, you can see, as the driver is slowly approaching a white figure that looks to be holding a cane off in the distance. As the footage progresses, the white figure starts limping towards the vehicle, and after a few seconds, the driver can be heard panicking. After a while longer, the figure continues to move towards the driver, and now obviously terrified, the driver can be heard yelling commands at the figure that can basically be translated to back up and get away from my car. Near the end of the video, the figure can be heard making a shrieking noise directed at the driver. The video itself is no doubt disturbing, and it's still unclear what the driver had actually caught on video that night.
ريفرس نقطة نقف لك على السيارة على السيارة
This footage comes from a police cruiser's dashcam, and in the footage, you can see as 3 officers are attempting to assist the owners of a car that had broken down on the side of the road. Though as the footage progresses, the officers look behind them as if to react to a noise, and that's when all of them desperately try to get out of the way of a car coming straight towards them. At an extremely high speed, the car would barely miss the officers and come to a screeching halt further down the road. The driver of the vehicle was discovered to be intoxicated 26-year-old Cedric Keith Henson Jr., though the parked vehicles would receive serious damage. Luckily, no one was hurt. Back in 2016, a sort of killer clown phase would shake Americans for a few months. It basically consisted of multiple people dressing up in clown costumes. For many, the motive was simply to scare people, though others would actually rob and even kidnap people. And during that time, in 2016, a family would drive home in South Yorkshire late at night when their dashcam would capture a clown. Step out in front of their vehicle, the clown would proceed to just stand there and wave, until after a few seconds, the clown would sprint towards the vehicle. The driver of the vehicle would desperately go in reverse until finally going back and drive, forcing the clown to get out of the way. This video shows the dashcam footage of a police cruiser located in Texas. In the video, you can see as the car in front of the police cruiser suddenly swerves and brakes in an attempt to avoid an object on the road. As the cruiser gets closer, it's revealed that the object is a woman lying past, out on the road. Luckily, Sergeant Scott would stop to help the woman by waking her up and getting her on her feet. The woman was overall suspected of having been intoxicated when she ran her car into a nearby ditch and walked back up the road just to pass out moments later. What's terrifying is just how many times she had been almost ran over